maketh man. Do you know what that means? Then let me teach you a lesson. Mr. Thuvia, my kind of welcome. Let me tell you all a little secret. I hate blood. So let's just hope that this man doesn't come back to the next movie, because there is gonna be blood, and I don't do good with blood, as you just saw. What's up guys, welcome to another video. Today we're reviewing Kingsman: The Secret Service. This one came out in 2014 and was directed by Matthew Vaughn and stars Taron Egerton and Colin Firth. Now before we start, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the post notification bell so you can know if I every video, and let's just start. Let's start talking about the good. So every single actor and actress in this film is fantastic. Taron Egerton, Colin Firth, Mark Strong, Samuel L. Jackson, Sophia Boutella, Michael Caine, Jack Davenport, and Ralph Ineson. They are all very, very good in this film. The opening sequence is awesome. Awesome opening sequence with Jack Davenport and Colin Firth and Mark Strong's character. Very, very good. It sort of serves as a backstory sequence at the same time, but you don't figure that out until later on in the film. But the opening sequence was awesome. The cinematography, which of course goes the shots, the cameras, the lighting, very, very well done. Matthew Vaughn did a great job with the cinematography for this film. Very, very unique action sequences, which I'll talk about in a little bit, but cinematography overall, fantastic. The first and second acts of the film, they were good and enjoyable, not as good as the third act. The third act of the film, which I'll get to later, is awesome, but the first and second acts were enjoyable and it served its purpose. The story, it's a good enough story, but it will keep you entertained. There are sequences in this film that are very, very entertaining that you sort of not forget about the story, but it adds to the story. The action sequences add to the story, and I think that it's a good enough story. The action sequences. Now, the action sequences are awesome. Matthew Vaughn did a great job with filming these action sequences. These are some of the most unique action sequences of an action film that I've ever seen. The bar fight sequence with Colin Firth versus all those guys at the bar, it was awesome. Fantastic. Easily the best action sequence in this entire film. The Kingsman test sequences. Now, these are the sequences, these happen in the second act of the film, where they're sort of training and preparing the different Kingsmen to see who's going to be the next Lancelot, I believe. And it was awesome. The underwater sequence, there are different sequences. There's a sequence with a dog. It's either whether you're going to shoot the dog or not, and it was very, very tense, and it was awesome. These test sequences were fantastic. There are also a lot of hilarious sequences within this film, mostly having to do with Taron Egerton. There are a lot of hilarious sequences that do not happen when bad things happen. Like when emotional sequences happen, it's not funny, which I very, very much appreciate that Matthew Vaughn did. Because this is a parody of James Bond, sort of, and the hilarious sequences do not happen when there are emotional sequences going on, so I thought they were very funny, and they were placed at the perfect moments. There are a lot of tense sequences as well. There is a sequence in the first act of the film with Samuel L. Jackson, well, I guess you could say first or second act of the film. Samuel L. Jackson, it's right after that church fight sequence. Samuel L. Jackson, Sophia Boutella, and Colin Firth. And Colin Firth's character, spoiler warning, he gets shot, Harry gets shot, and he's supposedly dead, but we all know he's not dead because in Kingsman Golden Circle, spoilers, he's still alive. But that sequence alone is very, very tense, as well as the third act, which I'll get to later, but the third act is very, very tense. Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, great cameo. Obviously he's not playing Luke Skywalker in this film. He's playing Dr. Arnold, and he's awesome. Mark Hamill's great, and he has a great cameo. There are great gadgets in this film. Obviously, much like James Bond gadgets. Fantastic. Used very well. They look great. The villains. Now, Samuel L. Jackson and Sophia Boutella are fantastic villains. Samuel L. Jackson plays Valentine. And Sophia Boutella plays Gazelle. Fantastic. Very, very good villains. They sort of resemble old Bond villains because of those little quirks that they have. Like Valentine has a lisp and Gazelle has blades for legs. It's crazy, it's weird, and it's exactly what I wanted from a film like this. Valentine is also one of my favorite action film villains of all time, just because of how weird he is, how different he is. He doesn't like blood. Every single time he sees blood, he covers his mouth, he covers his face. So that's another unique aspect of his character, and I think it works very well for this film as it is sort of a parody of James Bond. The score by Henry Jackman, fantastic. It's a great score. It has that James Bond feel to it, especially in that third act of the film. But it sort of resembles those old action films, and I thought the score was great. The third act of the film. The third act of the film is awesome. Valentine's death in the third act of the film is that classic spy thriller James Bond-esque death, and it works very, very well for the tone of the film. And the third act of the film is crazy, it's action-packed, and it's awesome. And the ending sequence. Now, the ending sequence, I thought it was good. It wasn't a great ending, I thought it was just good. That's about it. There's nothing bad about this film. Kingsman: The Secret Service is a fantastic action film. It's one of my favorite spy films of all time, and I highly recommend it, and I'm going to give Kingsman: The Secret Service an A. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and post notification bell so you can notify for a video. I'm Peter. Thank you for watching.